Happy to connect with you again through the wild, wild world of the internet. I am so happy today to answer a question by request. A lovely lady in my Big Family Moms group had asked, how do you prepare big family meals when you have no energy, no motivation? Such a good question. So she was just sharing with me that she struggles, and I have struggled with it too, with having like the motivation and the energy to just cook another big family meal, especially when you're homeschooling like I am. You've got 3 or more kiddos. I've got 11 now. But there was a time when I had 3 under 3 and 4 under 4 and 5 under 5. So I remember, especially in those early years when they're all very little, none of the children could meaningfully help with a meal. In fact, their help was actually more of a hindrance, right? When you've got your 3-year-old, your 5-year-old, and your 6-year-old who all simultaneously, I want to help. And then they start fighting because they all want to help so much. I know how that feels. I'm at a stage in my life right now where on the weekends, when it's Sunday night, I'm done. I'm just done. The idea of cooking one more meal, especially on a Sunday night, right? The day of rest. I'd rather have a bowl of cereal. Honestly, I was like, the idea, the thought of cooking one more meal, yeah, all of a sudden, all my motivation, my energy's gone, and I'm just craving rest. And my body physically is like, yeah, I don't want to cook one more meal. Please, may I just have one night off? So I'm going to share with you today a little bit of how I've approached big family meals, especially in the early seasons when you don't have a lot of meaningful help from your young children and you're managing a big family home with a lot of kids, whatever that looks like for you. And we all have different energy levels. We're going through different seasons of big family mom life, ages, stages. There might be illness. It's winter that affects us all differently. It really affects me. The hours of sunlight, the cold. I live in Canada, just a little bit sort of north of New York State, and it's wicked cold. We've been having extreme cold warnings. So my motivation to do certain activities related to caring for my home and my family sometimes does hit a low. So here's some of my advice of how I do it. First of all, I hit it when it's hot. Right? Is that an expression? I hit it when it's hot. I just make sure that I plan my week in such a way that I know when I'm higher energy, when I'm just in a better mental clarity, my body is more energized. There's times of the week and times of the day that work better for me. So for me, what that looks like is Monday morning, I go out of weekend mode and I go into it's the week where I do homeschool 4 days a week. So, and I earn my weekend. That's sort of a reward system I've made for myself internally that I earn my Friday. And if I do a good job, like if I hit certain at least baselines of accomplishment in the week, certain tasks related to home and homeschool, then I feel really good. Like I'm rewarding myself like a treat with the Friday off. I'm going to have the Friday off anyway. I just tell myself like, good job, Tara. You know, in some weeks, yeah, if there's illness in the home, I have a 5-week-old newborn now and I'm recovering from a C-section very well. I'm still being gentle with myself. I plan it so that Monday morning, I just mentally put my big girl panties on and say, this is it. Like getting up and going to work, right? And I just get up and I spend my time with the Lord in the morning. I get up a little bit early so that I can do certain tasks that really bless me. They really feed my soul so that I'm giving from a place of fullness rather than a place of just racing at a bed and being empty and kind of burning on running on fumes, like they say. So Monday morning, I hit it like it's hot and I do all certain big chores on Monday. And when it comes to meals in particular, what helps me is doing it earlier in the day. So my whole principle is do it earlier rather than saving it for later. That way, if I am low on time, low on energy, or low on motivation, just honestly, I could just never see another pot again at certain times of day, then I've done it earlier in the morning. It's almost like being my own best friend and saying, I know there are hours of the day when my energy wanes, and that's okay. So there are hours of the day when I do have more energy, more clarity, more time. So during breakfast, about 8 o'clock at our house, when the kids are having their breakfast, I'm putting something in the crock pot. I meal plan a whole week in advance. We do groceries on Tuesdays. That's just what works best for our family. And so I already know. I just have to read the list. I'm looking at it. It's over on my fridge right there. I just have a list that I've made a spreadsheet with 7 days of the week and another spreadsheet for the grocery list, which by the way, I've put in order of the grocery store. It took me years before I got here, but I was like, I'd read my list, I'd be all over the list, and be like, did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Finally, I was like, I could just put this on a Google Doc, put it in the aisle order that I always run the same path through the same grocery store by and large. That way I don't have to think. I'm like, boom, I hit produce, then we go to the bakery, then we hit the deli, then I go into all the aisles, and I finish up, in the freezer and milk dairy area, and then boom, I'm in the checkout, I'm out. That was a big, just mental energy saver. See, because what can happen, especially in a big family mom home, is decision fatigue. It can get overwhelming in the course of a day, just the choices that we have to make, especially if you're new to homeschooling or you're just going through a season where it's just a lot happening all at once. By the end of the day, even by the end of the morning, you can just feel like your brain is on overload and just that, like, things aren't firing anymore properly. And it would be wise, I find it very wise, to be gentle with myself and to plan for those things in a season of busyness or just normal life, when I do feel like, whew, this is a good time of day for me to be charging my battery. And this time of day is better for me to be, running the energy and engines running hot. So I get things going in the morning. I already know my list. The night before, when we're kind of doing our after supper chores, that's when I check the list real quick to see if I should pull anything out of the freezer to start defrosting. Because you know how it is. You're like, oh my gosh, 2 pounds of frozen hamburger, easier said than done to stick in the crock pot. It may not even fit. Just a second. Hey guys, would you be quieter, please? I'm having a chat. Thanks. We're getting a little rowdy, having fun we're all cooped up, right? It's winter. I get it. So I get stuff going in the crock pot in the morning. I've already got my planned it out the week before. I planned it on grocery day in the morning while the kids are doing homeschool, while they're having breakfast. I just have something quick that works for me, make sure I'm fueled, and then boom, I hit my day. And I get my tasks done earlier in the morning. We're all done homeschool by lunch. And then from 1 o'clock till 3:30 is quiet time in our house. And I have other things I do in quiet time that really just fuel my soul, give my body a rest, my brain a rest. So yeah, I've gotten into a rhythm and a routine that really helps, because by 4 p.m., when we're about an hour and a half out from dinner time, that is not a good time for me as a big family mom. It wasn't in the early years, and it sure sugar isn't now, for me to be thinking about what I'm going to make for supper. I'm done thinking. I have made 1,000 million different decisions from the moment I got up until 4 p.m. And if that's the time of day that I failed to plan, they say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's kind of harsh, but it's also kind of true, right? Then at 4 o'clock, I'm like, I guess we're having macaroni and cheese. Like the simplest thing. And I've had days like that, and that's okay, because there's grace to have days and seasons when you're just really, your fuel is low, your energy is low, you're going through stuff, personal stuff, health stuff, a season of a little baby, and it's just a lot. So being gentle with yourself, and just, it's okay. We've had seasons where we've eaten a lot of hot dogs, and I don't knock anybody. If that's how you roll, that's how you roll. However, I do know from experience that if I plan my meals, I start them early in the morning, and I get things out of the freezer the night before, things just go smoother. And then I don't really have to think. I just have to follow my own plan, and it's brainless at that point. And then what I do is I can put on a podcast, or I can put on like a YouTube video, some like YouTubers that I really like to follow. And then I could just go through the motions. I have about 30 meals that I rotate that I know pretty much off by heart. Big family meals, like chili's already in the crock pot tonight. And yesterday we had what we call Thanksgiving soup, which is like turkey dinner leftovers. You throw it in a crock pot. I don't do crock pot every night, but I do a crock pot in the winter at least 3 times a week, because it's such a time saver. And then otherwise, I just do crowd pleasing meals that are simple, easy, hit a couple check boxes for our family, or within our nutritional profile, because we do have someone who's lactose intolerant in the family. And it just makes my life easier. So that's pretty much how I do big family meal planning when I know I'm not going to have a ton of energy or motivation later in the day. But earlier in the day, that's a really good time for me to hit it. So I would encourage you, if you're, figuring out this big family mom stuff for yourself, you're noticing this isn't really working very well, feel free to pop into the Big Family Moms group. There's a link below. I've got a lot more resources. I'm very active in the group. There's over 400 other big family moms joining, honestly, by the hour. This group is hopping, and we are Christian women who love God, love each other, love big families, and we want to embrace children as a blessing. At the same time, be gracious with ourselves because there are struggles and challenges that come with big family mom life. So we're figuring this out together, sharing, networking together, and also encouraging each other. And I'm happy to connect with you there because this is the group I wish I had years ago when I was a new big family mom and had no idea how to do homeschooling. I had no idea how to manage a home and life with 3 little kids, 4 little kids. And then we started homeschooling. You don't have to homeschool me in the group. I'm just saying, a lot of us are homeschoolers. Well, the big family moms happen to be homeschoolers. There's a little connection there. So yeah, feel free to jump in the group. I'm happy to share more encouragement, resources, and practical advice so you can live this big family life instead of it always being a struggle and feel like you're just treading water. Instead, you start to have grace and victory and peace and actually enjoying this big family mom life and not just feeling like you're gritting your teeth and bearing it and hoping you're not screwing your kids up too bad. So there's that. I hope that's been a blessing to you. I know it's really helped me to just find a rhythm and a routine that works well. There's only 24 hours in the day. From the Queen of England to you where you are in the world right now, God has given us 24 hours. A part of that will need to be for sleep. The rest of that is awake. And we actually get to choose our choices. And planning in advance has been such a game changer for me. It's really like being my own best friend and learning how to get into that, easing into a new way of planning my life without being super strict, but also being wise has changed things so much and helped me relax into this big family motherhood and feel less pressured because I'm making a zillion million decisions a day. There are tips, there are tricks that make a big difference. So, about the group, feel free to hop on it if it'd be a blessing to you. Otherwise, thank you for spending time with me here today. I'm just going to check real quick because, yeah, I just want to check, make sure my tech is good. It's good. I look forward to hearing your comments below. What is big family mom like for you, your life around meal times? I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts below, where you're struggling, how you could use some encouragement, and what's working really well for you. So that's it. I'm going to sign off. Have a great day. God bless you.